The RCWR Show, covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Lee Sanders here, coming at you guys for Friday of November the 16th, 2018. Taking a little bit of a break as, wow, this Friday we got hit with some major news. If you are a James Ellsworth fan, you are not going to be liking this story as, get this, James Ellsworth is in the middle of a nude photo scandal. And it involves a teenage girl, as James Ellsworth denies claims he sent nude photos to a teenage girl / fan. Yeah, the former WWE superstar who, look, as we all know, he made a name for himself as being one of Braun Strowman's victims. When Braun Strowman finally had that solo run as a megastar and he was being built up over those early weeks and he had random opponents, these weird looking, funny looking opponents of the opponents that really stood out, the ones that had their 15 minutes of fame, was one guy named Johnny Knockout. Remember, he had the whole catchphrase, "I love big, sweaty men." We actually had chatted with him here on the RCWR Show. You could actually find that on our guest exclusives playlist on the RCWR Show YouTube channel. And James Ellsworth, although James Ellsworth 15 minutes of fame lasted a lot longer than Johnny Knockout, as we eventually would see on not one occasion, but on two occasions, James Ellsworth had a nice little run with the WWE. First go round, he had a contract, and we all remember the history. Those of us that have been faithfully following the WWE product, we all know what all he was doing with them. His last run in the WWE, he came back, tried to side with Carmella, while Carmella was the SmackDown Women's Champion, and she had some pretty, let's be honest, mediocre title defenses before eventually she would lose it at SummerSlam. So James Ellsworth is denying allegations made by a 16-year-old girl on social media today. The fan, who goes by the Twitter handle Click Kid, that's her Twitter handle, she calls herself a aspiring pro wrestler in her Twitter bio. And I'll read it to you right now, actually. I'm looking at her bio right now as I'm following her, keeping tabs on any new information that she's trying to share with folks. It says, aspiring pro wrestler, my heroes lace up their boots and kick ass. What's yours do? Click /NWO for life. Walking with Elias, and she's from Boston, Massachusetts, and she actually has a link to her YouTube channel. And her YouTube channel, there is only one video that is there right now. It's basically a 30-second to 50-second video of her meeting Dolph Ziggler from earlier this year. That's it. When you go and you click on her playlist, there's nothing. When you go to the About section, this YouTube channel she had made July 6th of 2018. As far as how long she's been on Twitter, she's been on Twitter since 2015. So she sent out word earlier today that Ellsworth had allegedly sent her nude photos of himself knowing her age. And she also included edited screenshots of messages from Ellsworth and a screenshot of a message she received from someone claiming to be in the wrestling business who also had very unkind, very negative things to say about Ellsworth. The 16-year-old girl would also go on to say, as she put out a little bit of a video via Twitter, a short video, she said that the ECW original, Sabu, had called her cute in one of her direct messages, interactions with the hardcore legend himself. I mean, hey, nothing wrong with calling somebody cute, but I think that's as far as it needs to go. Me personally, being someone that's God, what am I now? I'm 37 going on 38. I would not call a 16-year-old girl, especially one that is not even my daughter, I would not refer to them as cutie. If anything, I may say, you know, hey, darling, especially if it's a situation where maybe I'm at a Denny's or I don't know, Cracker Barrel or something like that, I may say, yeah, hey, little darling, how you doing? Yeah, can I have a blah, blah, blah? Oh, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. But I mean, that's as far as it goes. The only person I call cutie is my girl and my puppy. That's pretty much it for me. So to each its own. But in either case, as you would imagine, with this information coming out negatively, it's putting James Ellsworth in a really bad spot. So James Ellsworth had tweeted out a statement via his attorney denying the allegations. As one of the last tweets that James Ellsworth had put out, it actually was earlier today, about in the morning time on the East Coast. He said, and I quote, "Just left for the weekend to wrestle. My oldest daughter says, 'Bye, Dad. When you get back, take me and my sister to see Santa in the Grinch movie.' Of course, that was an easy yes to both questions." And that was it. He hasn't said anything else since. So his attorney from Bates and Garcia, attorneys at law, said, "My client, James Morris, known publicly and professionally as James Ellsworth, has become aware of a number of baseless allegations. Mr. Morris has the utmost respect for women and categorically denies these inflammatory and despicable accusations." Bates and Garcia, attorneys at law. That is it. That is all that has been put out. I have not seen the uncensored pictures. I don't need to see that type of stuff, but from what everybody has been able to lay claim that they've seen online, a little bit that I have seen, which is censored, it is in fact James Ellsworth. Now, as far as his member, I don't know nothing about that. I really don't care about that stuff, but the young girl here, she did an excellent job in documenting everything as far as their exchange goes. And I know people are ripping her a new you-know-what right now because it's like, hey, how can you accept him on Snapchat? Because let's really set this forward for you guys. So he hits her up and asks her if she has Snapchat. This is via Twitter. And she does say, yeah, I do have Snapchat. And she shares with him her profile. So they begin or continue on their correspondence from there. So from that point on, through Snapchat, that is how she was receiving these images. That is how she was receiving these videos from Ellsworth. Now, I am able to see one of the videos right now as I'm loading it up, as I'm sharing this news with you guys right now. This is actually a video I haven't seen. So he's on. Oh, wow. That's ridiculous. Wow. It's the girl showing. Wow. It's the girl showing her befriending Ellsworth. And just off the break, manhood. Ellsworth just proud rooster in his hand, laying in the bed, maybe at a hotel or whatever. Sun is shining, and yeah, we don't care for that. And then she clicks on it again, shows a video of him laying in the bed, flicking his tongue, his pierced tongue, like he wants to do some disgusting things to her. Yeah, I bet. Oh, and there is a video of him working it. Wow. Yeah, that was my first time seeing all that in real time. I saw censored pictures, but I did not see the video content stuff and all that yet. That's just nasty. That's just nasty. I mean, look, there's his side, there is her side, and then right in the middle, as I always have said on this show since 2011, there's that silver lining known as the truth. And sadly, we may never know exactly what the truth is. But this young girl, I have to give her the benefit of doubt because she says repeatedly, hey, look, I know how damaging this can come off. I know how incriminating this can come off. I know this is pretty serious what I'm putting out there to you people. Last thing I want to do is jump out there and say something that is false. The last thing I want to do is make false accusations, but I swear to you guys, I am not. And I like and respect the fact that there is that part of her, even though she's 16 years old, I love that there's that part of her that has that common sense, letting people know, hey, this is not me looking for my 15 minutes of fame. And I know some people are saying, well, she's on Twitter basically telling people, hey, yeah, I'll share it to everybody. Whoever wants to see it, just DM me. And now she's saying, I'm trying to send these pictures out to everybody that wants to see them in the videos, but I can only send but to so many people. And people are saying, well, why not just post it one time on Twitter and have it be over with? That is because, and this is where I need to educate you guys, that's because when you first sign up for Twitter, once you put in your birth date, that's it. I remember on this very show a couple of weeks back, we had talked about, I think the kid's name is AJ Awesome Show. Is a young kid, probably 8, 9 years old. He actually was part of the All In Weekend event in Chicago. And he had a table, everything. He was part of the podcast Row. And he had recently made headlines because his parents were actually managing his Twitter account, right? But somehow Twitter, they did not comprehend that it was his parents that were putting up all types of stuff related to the show, clips, saying cool things on his behalf or whatever. They didn't realize that, and they ended up suspending his account. But everything was smoothed over once the parents had established to Twitter, hey, no, it's actually been us the whole time that's been controlling this Twitter page. So usually Twitter abides by whatever that birth date is that you put in there, and your restrictions, your settings and all that, it's pretty much automatic. So in the case of this 16-year-old girl, if she were to post pictures like that, if she were to post content that is sexually explicit, like what she's trying to show people just freely on her Twitter page would automatically be suspended and or pulled until further investigation, or maybe even indefinitely. So that's why she's not posting this on her Twitter page. And, you know, for all we know, just to also continue to give her the benefit of doubt, this may also be a situation where she doesn't know things like Google Drive or SendSpace, torrents, or uploading it to, you know, all the sites that all of us vets that we know about. This is all probably a new left field for her altogether, right? Although I find it quite interesting that 16-year-old girl is saying this stuff on social media, and if there was ever a time to have a parent or guardian present while she is saying these things, I would like to implore, what's her name again? Kinsey. Kinsey is her name at the handle Click Kid. I would like to implore to Kinsey to get her parent, or guardian involved. That way, any future things that she's going to be revealing about her interactions with Ellsworth, especially if it's a situation where she's taking to social media and you'll be able to see her in the flesh, I think it makes all the sense in the world that there is a guardian, parent, or parents that's right there while she's saying what she's saying. That way it just looks a little bit more solidified, right? But I honestly feel at this point, now for those of you, you may be saying, well, wow, 16 years old and Ellsworth is what, in his 30s? Where's this girl from again? She's from Boston, Massachusetts. Now, some of you guys may say, oh, well, 16 years of age, according to laws out here in Boston, you know, it's not bad. It's the principle alone. Just the fact that you have a 30-something-year-old guy messing around, interacting with a 16-year-old kid in this type of capacity, just to even fathom that idea. And while I'm thinking about it, I got to home in on something else that she had said here that is just has me raising an eyebrow and alarms are just flashing off in my mind. when her and her friend, who she said is 30 years of age, go back and check out this Twitter clip I'm talking about now, because I'm not trying to be Perry Mason or anything like that, but she says that how all of this basically had started was her and her friend, they basically had met Ellsworth that way, and Ellsworth had asked her, hey, how old are you? And she said her age, and he was like, never mind. I'm sorry, I don't know of that many 16-year-olds that hang out with 30-year-olds. So once again, I can't help but wonder, where are the parents? Where's the guardian? Because let me tell you something. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I was growing up at that age, and I'm hanging around a 30-year-old, my parents was all up in my business trying to figure out who was that, what was this all about, was this school related, what the hell was going on, because if it ain't school related and I'm not meeting them on school grounds, they aren't teaching me, or they're not my tutor or something like that, I've got no business hanging out with them. So I'm looking at that, and I need a little bit more clarification right there, because that just has me really raising a strong eyebrow or two. I'm sure you guys are as well, or now you are, now that I've brought that to your attention. All the way around, though, creepy ass vibes of Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator, which was one of my all-time favorites back in the day on NBC, Friday nights, Dateline, sometimes Saturday nights. Used to love it. One of my all-time favorite episodes. There's two of them. One, it had to do with the rabbi that's actually from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. True story. That rabbi actually tried to get a job at my current place of employment, and we all were looking at him like, why does this dude look familiar, like in a bad way? And finally, one of our co-workers was able to figure out where he had seen him before, but it was the rabbi, older white guy down in Virginia. He traveled, God, I don't know how many miles to meet up what he thought was going to be a young underage boy for some hot sex. Yeah, And then the other episode I love was the Indian dude that had came by the house, and he was working up this chat storm with this underage girl, or he thought he was chatting with an underage girl, about how he wanted to see her, some whipped cream, and one of her animals. I think it was a cat that she had running around the house. She actually wanted to see, he wanted to see her cat lick her, you know what, while whipped cream is down there. I mean, dude was just really, really out there. Creepy, creepy shit, man. And let me tell you a thing or two. James Ellsworth, he can try to deny this all he wants, things of that nature, but let me tell you something. He can lawyer up and all that other good stuff. He can do that all he wants. Here is what I am going to be looking for. That's going to be the smoke and mirrors. That's going to be the smoking gun, and will either back up everything and solidify everything that this young girl is putting out there, or is going to red flag her as a bald-faced liar. What I'm going to be looking for, and what you all should be looking for, is depending on how serious, how far that this young Kinsey girl and her parents want to take this, you can actually get a subpoena. And in the case of Snapchat, you can Snapchat, you can actually get a subpoena against them, right? And you can actually trace all of these messages, these videos, these pictures. You'll be able to trace the IP addresses back to wherever that location is. Thus, that'll set up the domino effect for, okay, well, it looks like it came from this IP address. Okay, well, this IP address is somehow connected to this phone off of this ping tower. Okay, it looks like it came this way. Eventually, it will all connect. And I pray to God it does not come back to Ellsworth, because if it does, it is even more freaking incriminating. Seriously, okay? Those are the things that I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for how transparent, how cooperative that Kinsey and her guardian or parents are going to be working with local authorities to really bring this out to light and basically expose what could possibly be a sexual child predator. I hate to say that, but I mean, at this point, that's the way that all the cards are laying down right now. Now, I'm very familiar with Snapchat. I know how it works and everything. And there's no part in me that believes that she would make this story out of thin air up just for the hell of it. We all remember how much of a roller coaster emotional storm that it was when that young girl had came out some months back and she was accusing Enzo. We saw how all that had played out, right? We saw how all that played out. My best advice, look, if you ask me for my 2 cents from a distance, what is my gut telling me? My gut is telling me that Enzo is in the wrong. That's my gut. That's what my gut is telling me. But I've got to go with my heart, and I've got to just continue to see all of this evidence play out the way that it's going to be playing out. And I would definitely encourage you all to just really kick back. And especially if you're in the middle, you're not really sure what to believe right now, I would just say continue to wait, see how the rest of this plays out. But that's one of the things I'm going to be looking for in the coming weeks, going into the coming months. Another thing that I'm going to be looking for now that this young girl has opened her mouth, and one key thing that she had homed in on was how some of the girls that worked in the WWE, apparently they were creeped out by Ellsworth. Other women that he's had the opportunity to work with on the independents, he's rubbed them the wrong way, no pun intended. So, you know, if anything, in addition to what I said to look out for, I'm also going to be looking out for potentially more females that are now going to say, okay, well, now that this young girl had the courage to jump out there and reveal this, hell, I now feel confident in jumping out there and saying my piece as well. Hey, she's not lying, blah, 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 blah. So those are some of the things that I'm going to be looking for. But I kept it short and sweet when I have found out about this news earlier today. I said it on Twitter. I said the same thing on Facebook, and I just want to share that with you all as we get ready to wrap this up. And I definitely want for you guys to share your interactions with regards to this news. You know, how have you been able to take this, especially you guys that have been fans of Ellsworth since seeing him in WWE, or maybe a little bit sooner. If you ask me straight up, this definitely personally hurts me because he's actually from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And so for me, it always, as I'm sure it is for all of you other wrestling fans out there, nothing puts a bigger smile on your face than when you see one of your own from your own backyard, from your own home turf, that, hey, all right, they made it. They're on TV. All right, they're representing the blah, blah, blah city or state well. So for me, this definitely stings a bit, but like I said in a post not too long ago, and I sincerely mean this, men, listen up. If a girl wants to show her boobs and puss off the break for free, stay away, especially if she's under 18. Don't be a creepo. Sending a girl or woman dick pics ain't how to impress, and it's so 1990 something. Personality, good job, your own place. Most importantly, financial stability is how to impress. A big dick means nothing if you're a broke-ass nigga, uneducated, and don't even know how to use it. That is all. Sincerely, that is all. So that's going to do it for now. I'll have a lot more to say about this coming up on a special Monday edition of the RCWR Show, which you guys will be able to catch this coming Monday, November the 19th, 2018. We'll be coming on that Monday because we have the Thanksgiving holiday that's going to be coming up on that Thursday. And for me, it just really made a lot of sense. Just go ahead, push the episode out on Monday rather than Tuesday. Get it all out to you a lot sooner, especially for those of you that's going to be traveling and all that. All right, so that is going to do it for now. Please do me a favor, and if you have not subscribed yet, do subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you never miss out on all the great content that comes your way on a weekly basis. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. I still have to do some Survivor Series predictions. I'm actually going to be coming on live on Facebook probably at about 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. I'll be offering some Survivor Series predictions. We'll play about a year. Actually, you know what? Forgive me. Let's do that Saturday afternoon. That makes a little bit more sense because I actually got to finish editing some stuff for Patreon members because they've patiently been waiting for it. But we got a busy weekend. Survivor Series is coming up for you NXT fans, you Survivor Series fans. We are going to be doing a live after show. You guys will be able to see me in the flesh for that. Here on YouTube. So as soon as those events wrap up, you just come on back on YouTube and we're going to have loads fun. Until next go around, wishing all of y'all to be safe, most importantly be kind to one another, and may the good news be yours. I'll see you next go around. Do take care.